for our country good and also for the president of the country. I bring you warm greetings and express my gratitude for your presence here today in the media. I've called this press conference to clarify and publicly address a matter of serious national concern, one that touches on the rule of law, legislative oversight, and the protection of institutional integrity of our country. On the 20th of October, I wrote a communication to the Honorable Liberian Senate respectfully requesting an investigation into the recent dismissal of Dr. Dugbeh Nyan, the former Director General of the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, the NPHIL. This request was not made lightly. It was based on careful review of NPHIL Act of 2016 and a detailed response from Dr. Nyan himself, which included documentary evidence. The issues raised there go beyond any one individual. They speak to how we govern, how we uphold our laws, and how we ensure that public institutions are managed with transparency and professionalism. Unfortunately, and to my disappointment, my communication was not given the full consideration it deserved on the Senate floor. Before the Secretary of the Senate could even complete reading the letter, a motion was introduced and supported by some colleagues to refer the matter to the executive, with the argument that the President has the sole prerogative to appoint and dismiss. Let me be very clear. I fully respect the constitutional power of the executive. However, I also believe that no branch of government, no matter how well-intentioned, should act outside the bounds of the law. The NPHIL Act clearly provides for tenure and outlines the process by which the Director General may be removed. The dismissal letter cited sections of the Act, some of which, upon review, do not even exist. That alone should raise serious questions. Furthermore, allegations have been made that the former Director General was attempting to address internal issues, including the alleged illegal sale of government vehicles and mismanagement of resources. If this is true, then we must ask, was his removal an act of accountability or retaliation? What I found particularly troubling is not only the substance of his case, but how quickly and casually it was dismissed from discussion on the Senate floor. This was not only premature, it sent the wrong message to Liberian people that some matters are too sensitive to be debated openly, or that some offices are above legislative scrutiny. I do not believe that this is the case with the Liberian Senate, the kind of Senate that the people elected. I want to make it clear today, my position is not anti-government. Far from it. I strongly support the agenda of this administration, particularly a focus on being pragmatic, forward-looking, and focused on reform. But real reform cannot happen if we do not do the right things in the right way. It begins with consistency, transparency, and respect for laws we ourselves have passed in this legislature. My appeal today is simple. Let us not reduce our oversight as a legislature to partisan convenience or personal preferences. Let us remember that the institution we build today will outlive us, and the decision we make now will set a precedent for future generations. I'm calling on the relevant committees of the Liberian Senate, particularly the committees on health and judiciary, to revisit this matter in line with the amendment and in service to the Liberian people. I also encourage civil society, the media, and our developing partners to remain engaged, as the strength of our democracy lies in how we respond to such critical issues. To those who may have misunderstood my intention, I say this: I do not seek confrontation, but clarity, not obstruction, but accountability, not resistance, but reform. Let us lead by example. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the press. God bless the Liberian people.
So, now the press, you just listen to the greeting. So we will entertain questions for clarity.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay, my name is Samson David from ERBC. Senator, what did you think have gone wrong into the dismissal of the Director General?
Well, so documents that I have and the resolution that the board presented, including the letter of dismissal, I can say there are issues, okay? And I'm not interested in taking a side as to whether in depth that Dr. Nyan is guilty or not, but there is a procedure. First, the counts that have been laid, 11 counts that's been talked about. 2 of those counts, for example, in my mind, I don't think were well thought of. That the Director General will come to the legislature without prior knowledge of the board. This legislature sometimes even request the president or official of government at short notice for the sake of our oversight. Should we sit here and allow that somebody is being dismissed as part of those counts? You know what we're doing to ourselves in the Senate? We are weakening our oversight, because there could be a time where you will send for the MD of NPHIL, NASCO, and other areas. They could tell you, hey, we have not had approval from our board. We can't come. You could send for the minister, and the minister will tell you, I'm not getting a word from the president yet. That will delay our job here. So we cannot sit here and see such a resolution and allow people to dismiss somebody on the basis of even using the Senate. Beyond that point, I saw other counts. For example, that there was no budget, summation of an annual budget for 2024 and other things like that. The question now comes, on what amount, on what budget was the very board getting both fees? For the whole year period, or you taking both fees when there was no budget? So those are concerns that I think that, hey, it's important for the committee, because this is not the issue of will and pleasure. Whenever the law is crafted and the tenure is established, the president does not have will and pleasure anymore. We must establish that. It does not have that. So if the board goes to the president and the president takes a decision on the basis of the board resolution, we who have oversight should ask questions, especially where the individual being dismissed is raising issue that, hey, these things are not true. I have evidence to prove. So we just sit there. People get dismissed that have tenure. So they have procedure set. So that's one of my concern. My concern is that let the Senate look into this matter in line with the law. The Weah comes and gave this gentleman the day. He is a professional. Now, the last time I checked, the only recognized scientist of Liberia was Dr. Luke, who used a single dynamo to create electricity. Since then, the second recognized scientist that I know now internationally is Dr. Nyan. So far that I know, you may know other. And I also know another, but you may not know him. He's from River G, Dr. Twite. He's about a chemist, scientist in the U.S. You will say that Dr. Nyan comes from River G County, that's why I'm talking, eh? Yes, he's my constituent. Second, being a senator of River G County, he's a part of that. Second, I am a senator of Liberia. So it could be anybody I will raise the issue. And I always tell friends on the issue. I'm always firm